It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey everybody, Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're wrapping up the NBA regular season in style here on 2K Sports. Tonight's...
Thanks for joining us here on 2K. And we've got... Yeah, he's special, DA. Absolutely. Thanks. You know, certain teams, Chris, look fantastic during the regular year, but once they get to the playoffs, they really struggle. They can't seem to find themselves. Why is that?
Well, one thing is that certain teams are just built to win regular season games. When you can hone in on a team for 7 games, can they make an adjustment? Can they play together? In the playoffs, you need star power that's working together. You need everyone on the same page. What you did during the season no longer works in the playoffs. How can the coaches, how can your teammates, how can you make everyone better and adjust at the same time? If you're lacking in any area, you're vulnerable.
They become exposed, don't they?
You become exposed because what you do every night may not be an advantage against the team that you're about to play in a 7-game stretch. Yeah, definitely. Teams are vulnerable. You have to hone in and, again, be the best version of you so you can adapt to any situation in that game.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting 5 on the floor. And Detroit looking at who they've got. Will Barton is out there with Russell Westbrook. Then it's Chris Middleton. And then there's Steven Adams. And it's Bagley in at the 4 slot. Here's Aldridge. Steven Adams making his last shot. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Aldridge. Shoots over Barton. Misses off the left iron.
The defense is doing just enough to bother him on the jump.
The 3. Rebounded by Howard. And guys, Dwight Howard, a top 20 all-timer in rebounding, an 8-time All-Star center. Greg, will he be a Hall of Famer someday, you think?
Oh, he's a lock to be a Hall of Famer when you look at those numbers. Not to mention a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. And at his peak, one of the most impactful big men we've seen in the game.
Beal from long range. And Chris Middleton pulls it down. The Pistons have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. High post shot. Offensive rebound. Here's Bagley. Persistence pays off as they finally hit a shot.
And how about the persistence on the backboard? Love how hard Bagley works on the offensive glass. Wants to outwork everybody.
Now here's Howard.
Oh, come on. Did you see that? Did you see that?
And how about just floating to the rim on that slam?
Boy, when he gets up, I mean, he gets up. The kick out to Westbrook. 1:29 left in the first. And out of bounds as Pittsburgh gains possession. As we get a break in the action, let's take a peek at the leading defenses.
This is a team that takes pride on the defensive side of the floor. I mean, they play hard and they play together. They are a tough group to score on.
And here's Beverly. He brings it up for Pittsburgh. Trailing by 2. There's 1:17 left to play in the first quarter. Kicks to Aldridge. And it's all evened up.
Just phenomenal awareness by Beverly, just dishing the ball to the wide open man easily.
Adams in the high post. Beverly against Westbrook. Pass to Bagley. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. Bagley's got 5.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting called, and for good reason.
Well, yeah, he's a guy who can carry you for stretches, long stretches in this game. You want to get him involved early and often.
Fires from 14, and it's Westbrook missing. Pittsburgh trails by 3. Outside, Batum. Here's Beverly. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Beal, that's for 2. It's hauled in by Adams. Barton kicks to Westbrook. High arcing shot, and the layup is good.
Like how confident Westbrook is close to the rim. Gets high off the ground and releases his shot quickly.
And that does it for the first quarter. Pistons ahead. They're up by... The leadership of Russell Westbrook is so important to the team, and Steven...
He's doing just an unbelievable job at just...
You know, so much of leadership is that emotional component, motivating guys to give their all.
And Russ certainly leads by example with his competitive zeal, but he understands also he's got to bring his teammates with him.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter in this one. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from Detroit?
Aggressive rebounding in that first quarter, that's what's given them the advantage.
Well, it does a couple of things. It gives you more opportunities, but it also sets a tone. They're the more physical, the more dominant team right now.
Here are the five Detroit has to start the second quarter. We've got Bagley. Will Barton is out there with Russell Westbrook. Then it's Chris Middleton. And it's Adams in at the center, locking down the middle. Detroit leading by 7. Barton surveying the floor. In the corner, it's Westbrook. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure. Oh, and just a soft touch on both ends of that pretty alley-oop.
I gotta say, when he threw the pass, I didn't know where it was going. Seems weird, doesn't it, to call Howard an old-school type player? Because, see, Webb, I remember when he was considered new school.
Oh yeah, I do too. That's when I played against him. I mean, yeah, the explosiveness at his size back then felt new. But he was your classic back-to-the-basket, rim-protecting center. And once you feed him the ball, it was rarely coming back out.
Westbrook kicks to Bagley. The 17-footer goes down. Bagley's got the lead up to 7 now for the Pistons.
Yeah, the rhythm, the timing, an encouraging sign seeing Bagley not get down there off the catch.
Beverly against Westbrook. Passes to Beal. From deep, an absolute bomb from three-point range. Beal's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball. Westbrook passes to Bagley. Inside. And Adams with the slam.
It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with a pass.
And Beal kicks to Howard. Here's Aldridge. And that comes off the assist by Dwight Howard. And it's 6 points for Aldridge.
Oh, improving his floor awareness. Howard has a decent sense for when his guys are open.
Westbrook against Beverly. Here's the lob to Adams, and Adams with the slam.
Oh, phenomenal alley-oop slam there.
They are taking advantage of a team that looks lost out there. Here's Aldridge, and he banks in the layup. Aldridge has got 4 points this quarter.
Yeah, and there it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great inside position.
Here's Westbrook. That's in, and that's his 4th basket of the night. He's taken 7 shots, a solid 57%.
Well, it's nice to have an option like him every time down the court.
And Beverly kicks to Beal. Pittsburgh working the ball around. And there's the foul. It's on Steven Adams. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
Oh, he's not happy to pick up a 2nd foul. This early in the game, he's got to be careful now.
On the wing, Batum. His first shot coming late. Up again, and Howard with the second chance points. Howard's got 6.
Throughout his career, Howard has dominated the boards. The size, touch, and timing he possesses is just a lethal concoction.
Feeds it to Barton. And Detroit again with the bucket.
And how about the excellent court vision, just keeping the defense off balance?
Well, if you're his teammate, you love this right now because all you have to do is focus on finishing.
And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Westbrook. And so it's the Detroit Pistons. Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. They saw their lead grow to a high water mark of 5 in the period. And guys, for the Pistons, Kenny, what did you see from them?
They were really efficient on offense. She had the basketball well, great shot selection.
That about wrapped.
And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. Russell Westbrook really making a difference here.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for him. A scoring machine here in that first half.
Oh, well, he's a tricky cover. He does a good job of sensing the defense, making the right move at the right time.
They've got Batum, Aldridge out there with Howard. Then there's Bradley Beal, and it's Beverly in at the point. That's the group starting the second half for Lloyd Pierce. Big-time scoring is always a premium, Chris, when you're evaluating players on the offensive side. What do you hope to find as you kind of break down their game?
I hope to find that you can dribble, shoot, and pass. Because if you can do those things and you're a great scorer, then I know that if you get double teamed, you can find an open man. That if you have the heart of an unselfish player, that you're willing to think 2-3 plays ahead of how to set someone else up that's struggling. Because a great player can always get their own. And also on the offensive side of the ball, are you careless? Do you value possessions? Do you make easy turnovers? And if you do make a turnover in the offensive end, what is your temperature like defensively? Will you run back and get back and try to get a stop? What type of player are you overall? Great offensive players are result-oriented, not necessarily seeking individual numbers or acclaim, and that's a big part of my evaluation.
And so it looks like Pittsburgh will retain possession here.
And here's a look at some stats for Westbrook. How his last 10 games have gone. Second in steals, 5th in assists, and ranked among the top 10 in scoring. He can fill it up with the best of them.
And back to your point, number 2 in steals. He's just a tireless worker. Plays that hard-nosed, on-ball defense. Most guys just can't disengage from him. 6 on the shot clock. Fires from 18. And too long on the shot. And here's Beverly. He brings it up for Pittsburgh. 8-point game. The three-pointer no good. The Pistons have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. And Middleton kicks to Barton. Three-pointer. Rebounded by Howard. Howard's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
And Chris Middleton, 2 seasons ago, tore his hamstring completely off the bone. I mean, he's come back and hasn't missed a beat. One of the most well-rounded players you'll see.
And it's slammed in by Howard.
This is the chemistry Howard has with his guys. Fantastic at realizing when to go for alley-oops.
Barton kicks to Westbrook. And it's sent back by Howard.
Howard, one of the league's most feared rim protectors in the league.
Pittsburgh trails by 4. Pass to Batum. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. And Chris Middleton with maybe, Greg, his best season yet in 2017-18.
It just seems like he gets better every year. Former second-round pick, now all-star caliber. He's worked extremely hard, stayed in the lab, and now we're seeing the results.
Third quarter here, and 3 minutes have come off the clock. Here's Westbrook. Make it 5 for 10 with him in that bucket.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
And Beal kicks to Howard. And there's the pass to Aldridge. Batum trying to break loose. Aldridge misses.
And he's just a tough defender. Good positioning to get after that shot.
Well, not all defenses are constructed to protect the mid-range area. Nicely done that time.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Martin with it. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Westbrook, it's rebounded by Aldridge.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Here's Beal. And the shot no good, a bit short. Now here's Barton. Shoots over Beal.
Beal has quick instincts on D. He's fantastic at getting his hands up to contest shots.
And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
And he sliced the D wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
No, it's quick decision making. You see a guy open, you can't hesitate. That's an outstanding play right there.
And with 3 quarters behind us, we start the 4th quarter in what is still anybody's ball game. And Detroit, looking at who they've got. We've got Russell Westbrook. Bagley is out there with Chris Middleton. And then there's Steven Adams. And it's Barton in at the 2. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Bagley. From outside, off the mark. And Pittsburgh with the possession here. Trailing by 2. And that one's good. Beverly's got the first basket as we get going in the 4th for Pittsburgh. The Pistons shooting with confidence, 50% from the field so far. Here's Westbrook. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. And Russell Westbrook, he is a standard bearer for the Jordan brand with his own signature shoe, Greg. Few players have ever been as competitive as Michael Jordan, but you think Westbrook may be in that conversation?
No doubt about it. The similarities don't end there. The surreal athleticism, the will to dominate, and that fight, finding grudges to motivate them to their highest level. I think there's a kinship in how MJ and Russ approach the game.
Boy, they would have loved to grab the lead there, but you can't make them all.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
I'd love to hear his explanation to Coach right there. I mean, that should be an interesting conversation.
And Beal kicks to Batum. Pass to Aldridge. To take the lead. And he converts the layup. And Pittsburgh leads by 2.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Kicks it down to Middleton. About a minute and a half into the 4th quarter now. Fires at the elbow. And again, it's the Pistons missing. And so it's Beal who brings the ball up for Pittsburgh. They've only given up 1 point in the 4th quarter. Batum. Outside for Beal. Takes the 3. And that comes off the assist by Dwight Howard. Beal's got 4 points in the quarter.
Wonderful timing from the 2-yard. Beal has one of the quickest triggers in the game, especially off the pass.
Beverly against Westbrook. It's Barton on the wing. Shoots over Beal. And again, it's the Pistons missing. Pittsburgh leading by 5. It's Beal on the wing. There's a minute 40 left here in the 4th quarter. Now Howard. Here's Aldridge. Off the mark with the outside fadeaway. Westbrook up top, defended by Beverly. Takes it down to Middleton. Stolen by Beverly. Passes it to Beal. Pittsburgh working the ball around. Here's Aldridge. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Marvin Bagley picks one up. He drops the first one, and that increases their lead to 6. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 7-point game.
Jumping on the chance to up their lead at the line.
Here's Westbrook. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
And both free throws good for Westbrook.
The lead's not looking as comfortable after those free throws. Nice job.
Beal finds Aldridge. They get a hand on it, and it goes out of bounds. And last touch by Barton. Beverly deciding where to go with it. Baseline J on the way, and Aldridge gets it to go on the assist by Beverly. Aldridge has got the lead up to 7 now for Pittsburgh. Now a timeout called by Detroit. They're trailing by 7. 36 seconds left in the game. Guys, your thoughts?
And I'm sure the coach is telling them it ain't over till it's over. Yeah, but I don't know.
A chance now to recognize our Jordan player of the game, Dwight Howard.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. And that has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
And with their spot in the postseason assured, he's picking up just at the right time to be on top of his game.
Oh, look, I love the confidence of Bill, but when you work that hard in the offseason, you have a jump shot that wet. I guess it's easy to embrace the punishment.
And so he drops them both. It's a 9-point ball game.
He's stepping to the line knowing he has a chance to seal the deal, and he does it.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. They trail by 9. 16 seconds left to play in the final quarter. What's your take, guys?
And this is what happens when you dig yourself a hole it's hard to climb out of.
Well, they can only blame themselves. A few missed opportunities, some miscues that they'd like to have back. It all adds up.
Pondexter from outside. Drops in the tray.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
Team ball. Great execution on offense. Everyone working together. You wish you could have that on every play.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
Now, the potential this kid Bill has is incredible. He's already a dynamic scorer. He continues to get better every offseason.
And here's Westbrook from the arc. That shot misses. So it's Pittsburgh picking up the win. A confident win. All right, David, thank you. And that about does it for the final game of the NBA regular season.
I'm already cooking them. Soon as I look at them, I go to putting the sauce on. You better take them and lace them.